Hey guys, I trust you're well. Miniko Salama. And as promised, I said I would share um, a bit of snippets regarding my recovery journey. So maybe some of you would be able to understand what alcoholism is, to demystify what's out there regarding addiction, especially alcoholism. But more importantly, so you may understand why my faith is so grounded. Because you truly get to know God through your toughest times. And I mean, I was in addiction, alcohol addiction, and I didn't know what this was for about 15 years. And I'd like to just quote an incident that reminded me that God was with me, you know. And this will give hope to anybody who is going through something, that through that thing you're going through, God is truly with you. So there's a time my phone was acting up. And so I took it to Safaricom to get it fixed. But when they fixed it, it asked something that it had never asked before. It had asked that I put an emergency number. So that came as a surprise, but what the hell, I just put my wife's number there. So each time you would try to unlock the phone, though it has a code, the number would pop there. Little did I know that 2 weeks later, I'd find myself in a situation where that number would have come through. So about 2 weeks later, I remember being at home and I was sort of depressed because there were many things on my mind. I had a child, my job wasn't stable, income wasn't stable, I had a bad hangover. And you can be very depressed when you're at that particular level. And so I needed somewhere to go and relax my mind. And there was this guy I knew who also was an alcoholic. And unfortunately, he passed not too long ago. But he always had money. And so I called him. That time I was staying in Gong. And he lived in Rongai. So I called the guy. And I told him what I was going through. And I wasn't feeling myself. And he told me, come, we can hang out. So I told my wife, I've gone to Rongai. I shall be back tomorrow. So I went. And we met up with the guy. He bought some good liquor. And we drank the night away. So the following day, my child was meant to go for clinic. That time I only had one child. Now I have four. My child was meant to go for clinic. And so I woke up at about, because I blacked out through that drinking session. Then I woke up at around 5, 6, half awake. And I remember it was raining, but I still left. And I don't remember things clearly between me leaving Rongai all the way back to Ngong. But what I do know is that when I got to Kiserian, I was not myself. Now, this is the part I don't remember, but I was told later on because I woke up in hospital. So, waking up in hospital under a drip, and I asked my wife, how did you find me? And she told me the story. And the story was that when I got to Kiserian, I think I even puked in the mat. And I got out and I was walking like a madman across the road with no sense of direction. It's like I was in a semi-coma. So some guys had spotted me and they took me and wanted to go and jack me, or rather steal from me. But God sent his angels. Some taxi guys saw me and they were like, hey, what's going on there? And they came and took me. So having taken me, they noticed this guy is not here. You can see, I think they were trying to look at my eyes and I wasn't there. So they looked into my pockets, they found some cash, which still stayed intact. But at that point is when they looked at my phone and saw my wife's contact. And they were able to reach her and they were able to take me to hospital. And which I went and spent a night in HDU before I sobered up. When you wake up from such an event, you cannot take it for granted. You do know that God was with you. God answers prayers, even when you feel like you're a sinner, God answers prayers and He loves you. Most of the reasons I feel why guys get into these states of depression is because we focus on the challenge or the situation rather than focusing on God. And God is more than able to pull you out of any situation. Through my addiction, I went to HDU about 3 or 4 times, and I saw God's hand. And I must testify of His goodness. So for anybody who is out there going through whatever addiction or whatever issue, don't focus on the issue. Focus on God, because that's what He wants you to see. Because through this time is how you get closer to Him. Yeah. So that's another snippet into my journey. I shall share more. Besides that, I wish you all a blessed Sunday. Cheers.